That is North 1st Street, just actually a couple of blocks away from our NBC Bay Area studios. This is North 1st Street and Trimble. What you're seeing there is a UPS truck, and behind that truck, about 10 to 15 San Jose police cars and Santa Clara County Sheriff's deputies behind that truck. Inside the truck is a UPS driver from what we can see. Also a man with the shotgun. This happened around 5:15. The chase started. This came to a close, an end here in terms of that truck stopped around 5:30. And ever since that point, for the last 30 minutes, this is what we've been seeing. All those police cars and sheriff's deputies behind that UPS truck in a standoff with that driver and someone else inside that truck.
Now, initially we saw the UPS truck going down 1st Street really fast, and then a spike strip had hit one, got a flat tire. That's how it ended up stopping there. And then we saw this video of what appears to be a woman with her hands up emerging out of that UPS truck with her back to the police officer. There's some like 50 cop cars there. She goes all the way back, as you can see her. She's in a pink top, goes to the ground there and lays her hands down, and then you see the police officers. Initially, we didn't know how many people are in the truck. This is what we know at this point. There are at least 2 more people inside that UPS truck. We have seen the video. We're going to show you a close-up shot of it. We have to warn you, the video is disturbing when you see it. There is a UPS truck driver inside the car there, and then to the right of him in the passenger area, if you look closely, you will see there is a man holding what appears to be a shotgun under his chin. They're in conversation. At one point, the UPS driver hands him the phone. It appears the guy is texting. It's a younger man, maybe in his early 30s with a beard. They have conversation, and at one point, the man begins to sit on the ground, again, holding that shotgun.
Yeah, we are not clear if that man with the shotgun, how they are related to the UPS driver, if the UPS driver is simply an innocent bystander, some type of carjacking here. But we do know about 30 minutes ago, a woman left that UPS truck. We go back to our live pictures now here. And again, this is on North 1st Street, right in the heart of some major tech companies, eBay just down the road, PayPal a few blocks away. And of course, like we said, our NBC Bay Area studios also right here, North 1st Street and Trimble.
So again, the situation, we don't know how many other people may be in the truck at this point. San Jose police, also sheriffs are all there. Some 50 officers for 50 police cars are there at this moment. The UPS driver appears to be a younger man himself, maybe in his 30s. When we saw that close-up shot of him, he appeared very calm, his hands on the wheel at the whole time. This is right when it passed our NBC studios here, when they hit the spike strip, as I was telling you, and then it comes to a stop. The UPS truck comes to a stop, and all of those police cars then form a V right behind that UPS truck. We don't know what the relationship is between the driver, the man inside with the shotgun, what appears to be a shotgun, and the woman who exited about 20 minutes ago.
And speaking of that woman, sources do tell us right now that she is being detained and questioned as to what her role is in this, if she was also an innocent bystander or if she was part of some sort of plan or scheme here. We're going to go back to our live pictures as the sun sets here. It's getting dark, and really San Jose Police and the Sheriff's Department probably will just do some de-escalation tactics here. They have no rush into approaching that UPS truck where that man is there with a shotgun. Now, NBC Bay Area's Janelle Wang is on the scene just a couple of blocks away, right there of where that UPS truck is. Janelle, tell us where exactly you are, what you can see, and what you're hearing from the scene.
Raj and Jessica, I'm right here at Trimble and 1st Street. This intersection is completely shut down. The UPS truck is right behind my shoulder there. We can get an eye-line sight of the driver still in the front seat. We're going to stay wide just because we don't know what's going to happen. There is an armed man inside. We did hear San Jose police multiple times on their speaker and radio to tell him to surrender. Multiple times, about 20 minutes ago, they said, please put down the gun. Let the driver go and turn yourself in. They said that multiple times about 20 minutes ago. At that time, the suspect was in the front with the driver, and that's when they made that announcement. Since then, it appears the suspect is now in the back of the truck where the packages are, and the driver is just standing in the front seat. Raj, Jessica, this is a very busy intersection in North San Jose, right at Trimble and North 1st Street. They've diverted all the cars out of the area, and now the intersection is shut down. Like you mentioned, a lot of tech companies here. We're in right across a strip mall where there are lots of restaurants, a Starbucks. We're in a business park, and at this time, they're not like actively evacuating the business park, but anybody that walks out of the office is being told to stay away and leave the area. Joining me right now is a resident who actually lives a half block from here, Jagdish.
Yeah,
nice to meet you. Jagdish, thank you for joining us. You were just trying to go home, you live in the area, and what happened?
Yeah, I was just traveling through this area because I work in Santa Teresa, which is like 20 miles from here, and I live in this North Park Apartments, which is 0.5 mile from here. I suddenly seen like a lot of cops and something is going on here, and there's shut down this intersection and all. Like I was driving through in this area, and there was like around like all the cops, and like I can't move forward, so that's what I just waited here, and I can see like I can wait for some time, and then I just can go somewhere or something like that.
So you just basically can't go anywhere because all the intersections are blocked.
Exactly, because they divert the traffic, and it seems like the entire this roads and everything is struck, like because this is the huge road, the North First Street, because these are the small roads,
Yes.
so you can't get into like.
Right.
You can't divert the entire traffic into this small intersections or something
Okay.
like that.
Well, Jagdish is here observing as well as us. Thank you so much for your time,
Janelle?
and hopefully you can go back home.
Yeah.
There are about 30 cop cars here. We'd say about 20 sheriff's deputies, 10 San Jose police officers. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Jessica?
Janelle, just wanted to clarify
And so,
in terms of the
they're all-
traffic. So both
Yes.
traffic is closed in both directions, traveling Trimble in both directions,
Yes,
First Street in both directions.
Yes, and Trimble is closed in both directions. North First Street is closed in both directions. And then the surrounding area is also shut down to traffic in a one-block area around this main intersection. They're not letting any traffic in or by this area. There are 30 to 40 police cars, as you saw. There are San Jose police officers and Santa Clara County Sheriff's Deputy. I'd say about 20 each. We also see they're in hiding spots, but sheriff's deputies and police officers with their guns drawn, their rifles drawn, just in case something happens. But they are all strategically placed in different spots of this business park, and it appears on the other side of that strip mall where there are a lot of fast food restaurants. And they're telling people to stay away. We've been moved probably 3 times further back because they have no idea what the suspect wants and what he's meant to do.
Okay, that
appears
was
that
Janelle Wang
Probably
reporting.
has a few thousand people.
We appear to have some audio problems with Janelle.
Yes,
We're
Raj?
going to let you fix that. We're getting some interruption with your audio, Janelle. Just as Janelle was telling us that there appear to be, not only do you see that row, about 40 cop cars, but there are police officers and sheriff deputies placed in and around this entire area. A large perimeter has been set up. Everyone is staying in place. No one coming in and out. Trimble and First Street both closed because that armed man appears. We're also hearing that now, when that chase was occurring, we're hearing that the person inside the truck, the person with the gun, may have fired at officers that were pursuing that UPS truck as well.
Okay, so here's what we know, and we're watching all this unfold along with you. 3 people, as far as we know, are involved. 1, a woman who is now in custody, according to the Sheriff's Department. The woman was taken out of this UPS truck at around 5:30, so about 35 minutes ago, the woman was taken out. She is now in custody. There is a man inside that UPS truck with the shotgun, and as Jessica was mentioning, did fire upon officers. We don't know too many details beyond that. And then the third person is the UPS driver in uniform, sitting in the driver's seat, apparently an innocent bystander here. And as Janelle Wang on scene was mentioning and reporting, she is hearing on the loudspeaker from the police and the sheriffs for the man with the shotgun to release the driver. So we can presume from there that the driver is the innocent bystander here. In terms of the traffic, First Street and Trimble, this is a major intersection in North San Jose. Not just all the tech companies here, like we mentioned, eBay and PayPal and many others, Samsung up the road, but also this is a big corridor of condominiums and apartments. So a lot of people will be disrupted. And you can see as we pull out here from our NBC Bay Area Sky Ranger, all the streets that are closed off. and the traffic being diverted.
It's also a huge corridor from going from 680 Montague all the way to 101. So there is a huge traffic impact. Let's show you this daylight video of when the chase was at its height. This is on First Street as the UPS truck goes right past our station. It went past Bay 101. Now it's approaching that Trimble intersection. The spike strip is on the ground. It causes the right front tire to go flat, and that's what ends this pursuit. That's when we start to see some changes in terms of the woman leaving the truck. And here's live back picture to this. And we see then the UPS driver in the driver's seat with his hands on the wheel. And that's when we realize that there is a third person on that, a man, younger man with a beard, holding that shotgun underneath his chin.
So that man is holding that UPS driver hostage. They're waiting for him to release that driver, and then they can move in. But there are a lot of police cars and squad cars there behind. You can see from these live pictures. There are also many armed officers in the bushes in this area that are not in the car. So they're just waiting to see, and they will wait this man out in order to avoid any sort of injuries here, especially any type of shootings. But as we just reported there, that man with the shotgun inside the UPS truck has already fired upon officers and deputies before this chase came to an end. And this chase came to an end about 5:30, so about 40 minutes ago. And this is what we've been seeing ever since this point.
It was at 5:37 that we saw the woman walk out, and at 5:15 is when we saw that truck finally stop there right now. UPS, I'm sure at this point, is scrambling to figure out, it knows which driver this is, depending on what route it was taking. We don't know the identity of that driver at this point, and we don't know the identity of the suspect that is holding that person to the gun.
We want to get back to our breaking news. If you're just now tuning in, we've been following this breaking news for about 45 minutes now. What you're seeing here is North First Street in North San Jose, a big standoff between San Jose Police and Sheriff's Department, as well as a UPS truck there. Now, inside that UPS truck is the UPS driver and a man with a shotgun, apparently holding that driver hostage. A woman was also in that truck. She left that truck about 30 minutes ago and has been detained. We just got off the phone with UPS, and they say they are working with authorities, and that's what we're seeing here, what we're seeing unfold for the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, that woman came out of that truck at about 5:37. As you can see, if you look at it, she comes out with her hands up in the air, walking backward toward police officers. She walks to the grass, and then they take her and they put her in and they detain her. You're looking at the live picture now. Just some business,
It appears, Jessica, the driver has come out. These are live pictures now. It appears the UPS driver who was taken hostage there has come out. So that would be a best case scenario here, because he apparently is an innocent bystander in all of this. We're waiting to confirm this, but we do have crews on the ground level working on the story for us. In fact, we'll go to NBC Bay Area's Janelle Wang. She might have a better perspective. Janelle, if you're there, what we're seeing and understanding is that driver has come out of the UPS truck. We're not quite sure if the man with the shotgun is still inside that truck. What do you know? Are you hearing us?
Yes, we're hearing you, Raj. The man with the shotgun is still inside the truck. Somebody is still in the truck, yes. And now all of a sudden, a lot of police activity. Police officers in this parking lot zooming in and out of the parking lot. Oh, here they go right now, right by us. So it appears now the driver was let go, if you're seeing that from Sky Ranger, and now we believe it's just the suspect in the UPS truck. So that's good news that they let the driver go. But there are police and sheriff's deputies that have surrounded this intersection at Trimble and North First Street. They're hiding in strategic spots, and they've got their rifles drawn just in case the suspect decides to fire his weapon. And as you've been reporting, he apparently already has during the chase. He was firing at sheriff's deputies up North First Street in San Jose. Now, I have Dean here. He is with me. He is one of the hundreds of people that work in this business park. And Dean joins us now live. Dean, thank you so much. As we, if you can join me here, and we'll get a shot just in case of the background of the UPS truck. When did you hear about it? It was like around 5:30?
About 45 minutes ago. Heard the helicopters, heard massive amount of police cars, and just decided to come back down and see it.
And Jessica, did you have a question?
Yeah, Janelle, we're just trying to get some clarity here.
Yeah,
we're trying to get some clarification here on the UPS driver. UPS driver has backed out and went with police. Do we see any other activity of any other people approaching that UPS truck?
There's a person in the truck.
There is a person in the truck. We don't know who that person is. If that's still the suspect, if you saw the UPS driver get out, the suspect is still inside. We see one person still in the truck. We are not sure who that person is, but as soon as you mentioned that UPS driver was got out of the truck, a swarm of activity. We are now seeing a SWAT truck move in to the parking lot where we're at right now. So the SWAT team is now moving in to, I guess, proceed and continue with negotiations with the suspect. He appears to still be in the truck because there's still a lot of activity in here. We hear whoever's in the truck has a ponytail. We can see them right now from a distance, but police still have this area cordoned off and there's still lots of activities, more police arriving. And then we saw a SWAT team arriving as well. So we know he had access to a cell phone because he was talking on the UPS driver's cell phone. So we're not sure if negotiations are still going on right now or they're still trying to make contact with him, what his demands are, if he's suicidal, what he wants. But we do know the female that was removed from the truck about 5:30 was a suspect as well. We got that tweet from Santa Clara County Sheriff. They say one female suspect in custody. We have a hostage situation involving a UPS truck driver, but that's all the details that they're releasing. Now, we also want to let you know this is where VTA runs, right parallel to North 1st Street, and it is shut down at this area between Carina and Tasman, and VTA is providing bus service. But people who work in this building are just kind of watching from the windows. And Dean, I was talking to Dean, and he said how many people, Dean, work in this building? How many companies?
Probably about 100, I'd say, and probably a couple thousand people total.
Wow, and then you heard the sirens and the helicopter?
The helicopters definitely were unusual, and that got my attention, came out, and then the police said back off, so.
And what did they tell you specifically? Did they tell you to evacuate or just stay back?
No, they said if you're in sight of the truck, it's dangerous. Get back.
I guess because you're in the line of sight of possibly the armed gunmen. So did your coworkers leave? Were they all just hanging out, observing?
One's leaving, but he's not taking his normal route home. He's got a big detour in front of him.
Yeah. And so most of your coworkers still inside, just observing the situation out the windows?
I'd say just one's inside, and looks like most people are leaving if they can.
Yeah. Okay. And then did they tell you to stay away from the windows or anything?
They did. They said go back to the offices that are safe, not the ones adjacent to the activity there.
But people are allowed to leave and evacuate the building if they wanted to?
Definitely.
Okay, Dean, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it so much. So only a handful of people left in this business park, but there's still a lot of police activity going on right now. We actually hear more sirens approaching. I'm not sure if it's more police cars or sheriff's deputies. But at this time, everybody is kind of just hunkered down. We see employees leaving, but everybody's just hunkered down. And as you can see from Sky Rangers, sheriff's deputies, and police officers have surrounded this car right behind the UPS truck. And then in other spots surrounding the UPS truck, to the side, to the right of it, to the left of it, in front of it. When we were parking, we saw officers with their rifles drawn, and then we got moved back 3 times. We were very visible with our live truck and to a safe location that they're allowing us to be right now. We're about 200 yards, so we're going to keep an eye on this situation, Raj and Jessica, and of course we're here on the ground with a very close-up view of what's going on. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Janelle. You've been on the ground there for about an hour now as we've been watching this whole thing unfold. Okay, the latest updates. You heard Janelle say that UPS driver is now out. This is a critical time for police because police have now talked to that UPS driver and may have a much better idea of who they're dealing with, who the suspect is, what his needs are, what his emotional state is, what his mental capabilities are at this moment in time, and what happened before this standoff. Was this a robbery gone wrong? Was this some sort of domestic violence incident that the UPS driver got caught in, since there was a woman involved? You're looking now at video that we shot earlier. You can see the suspect there. Now, we do want to warn you, this is video that we cut from earlier, so there is no danger in you seeing anything that might happen that may be disturbing. You can see the guy sitting on the ground, and he's got that shotgun underneath his chin. Presumably during these hour that he spent with this UPS driver, the UPS driver knows what this guy's story is, and that's now being given to police, and most importantly, to hostage negotiators, to those police negotiators that can now curtail their plan or fix it or change it to alter how they can convince this man to safely get out of that UPS truck.
And the best part of the story here so far is that UPS driver who was taken hostage has been released. In fact, this was just from a few minutes ago when that driver got out of the truck or was released from the truck. You can see it there as we zoom in. This was about 10 minutes ago. The UPS driver who was taken hostage getting out of the truck and walking toward the police officers and the investigators and the sheriff's deputies. He looks safe. He looks healthy, like nothing was wrong there. But yes, they are talking to him. Now, witnesses are telling us that this pursuit started in South San Jose and ended in North San Jose. Again, this is North 1st Street, right down the road from eBay headquarters and PayPal headquarters, and actually about a block away from our NBC Bay Area studios. North 1st Street is closed down. This is a busy corridor. These are live pictures now. The woman has been released. She walked out about 45 minutes ago. The UPS driver, we just showed you that video, he walked out about 5 minutes ago. And now we presume it's just that one sole man inside that UPS truck, armed with a shotgun. And again, they are actively in negotiations now. Janelle was telling us a few minutes ago she could hear them on the loudspeaker going back and forth with that man inside this UPS truck. And we did speak with UPS, and they said they are actively working now with the local authorities.
Janelle also mentioned that a SWAT team has just arrived just a few minutes ago to her location. That SWAT team probably now taking over those negotiations to try to figure out what they can do, how they can entreat this man to surrender safely without harming himself or harming anybody else. What the questions now is, how did this begin? What happened? And how did this UPS driver get embroiled in all of this? So good for the UPS driver. If his family was watching this on TV and may have seen him, a certainly difficult, emotional time for them, whoever his loved ones are, but now they know that he is safe. We do not know the identity of the woman or the relationship of that woman to the man, that suspect that is still in the truck. These are the questions that are being asked right now of us, of law enforcement, so that we can try to give that information to you. We're being very cautious as we bring this to you. We are giving you a live picture, but we are very sensitive to the fact that anything could unfold at any moment. So we just want to let you know that we are monitoring the situation closely, and we'll do anything to prevent, making sure that nothing untoward comes out on TV at you.
If that man does come out with the shotgun or anything else, we will cut away from our live coverage and go to some tape video. Some of the streets impacted here. This is some major arteries there in the North San Jose. A lot of tech workers and people living in the area. North 1st Street, Trimble, Montague Expressway, Zanka Road, all of these major arteries here will be impacted because now it's close to an hour since all of these streets have been closed down.
Brokaw too.
And Brokaw Road as well. And you can see behind it just the sheer presence of police officers and armed response there. At last check, it was about 35 to 40 SWAT cars and patrol cars, including that SWAT. Also, not just SJPD and the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department, but also VTA officials, because on the top of your screen, the right side there, that's the VTA line. That's a very popular line right on the North 1st corridor. So we're going to continue to watch this unfold. We're going to take a short break and come right back with this breaking news with this UPS standoff in North San Jose. Stay with us.
We want to take you back to our breaking news. We've been following this standoff now for about an hour and 15 minutes. This is right on Trimble and 1st Street in North San Jose. You're looking at a live chopper shot from Sky Ranger. Just moments ago, we saw very close up a look at the man that's been holding, up until a few minutes ago, a UPS truck driver hostage. There was a woman in the truck with him as well. Initially, it seemed like he had gone to the back of the truck. Now it looks like it appears that he is talking to police. He's waving his arms out at officers. You can see him there. He's in the passenger side. He seems to be motioning with his arm for either someone to come closer or for police officers to back up. It is unclear at this point, but there is some movement in that truck where the man is sticking his head out. We should warn you that the man does have a shotgun. He's been holding a UPS driver for about an hour in this UPS truck, and about 10 minutes ago, the UPS driver was let go, and he was able to back his way into police officers. At about 5:30, we saw a woman emerge from this truck as well, and she emerged safely. So right now, we think he's the only person in there, but he does have, it looks like a flashlight or his cell phone in his hand, and he's either talking to hostage negotiators or contacting someone else, but it does appear that he is on his cell phone at this moment. Both hands no longer on the gun. It appears that he is texting with someone.
Another shot now from the ground level. This is video just a short while ago of the suspect, the armed suspect who had that UPS driver hostage on the ground level here. And what we might be seeing when we go back to our Sky Ranger video, what he's talking to, that might be one of the robotics. There it is. This is a live picture now. And you can see that thing beside the truck, and he's talking toward it. It might be a robotic camera with a microphone, and that's how some of the officers are negotiating with this armed suspect there inside the UPS truck. Now, we've been joined by Janelle Wang, who's been on site for us for the past hour. She rejoins us. She is about 100 or 200 feet away or yards away from this standoff. Janelle, what are you seeing right now?
Okay, he actually has the shotgun to his chin right now. He's back in the driver's seat and he's on the cell phone. About 3 minutes ago, as you both were mentioning, he was gesturing. His right hand was out the window. I think, from my impression, he was communicating with someone on the phone, not to police officers, and trying to spell out something. He had a couple fingers up, and then he made like an upside down V, and then he kind of like signaled, like shaking his hand, and he was on the cell phone at the time. I think he knows he's on live TV and he's talking to somebody to see if they can see his gestures out the window, his arm, his right arm out the passenger window, and to see if they can see him from, you know, Sky Ranger, NBC Bay Area Sky Ranger, and our live coverage. I think he was trying to send a message. My producer here, Alicia, was thinking the same thing, like trying to spell something out. But he is now sitting back in the driver's seat. He's agitated. He's yelling, chanting. He's got the cell phone on in his hand, in his left hand, and the shotgun in his right hand. And he is extremely agitated and frustrated right now.
Janelle, if you can hear us, what do you?
It's really strange.
Janelle, if you can hear us, what is he saying? What can you hear him saying? And what's the communication from the negotiators? What are they saying over the loudspeaker?
They haven't said anything over the loudspeaker in about 45 minutes, since about 5:45, when the driver was holding a gun to the UPS driver's head. And that's when they chimed in and said, let the driver go, put the gun down, surrender. So that was from about 45 minutes to an hour ago. That was the only time that police have said anything over the loudspeaker, telling him to put the gun down. And that's when he was in the front seat with the UPS driver, pointing the gun at him. You know, since in the last 20 minutes, as you saw here live on NBC Bay Area, they let the driver go. Prior to that, a female suspect exited the vehicle. She is a suspect. She is in custody. She's being questioned. But it appears the suspect, the gunman, is the only one now left in the UPS truck, and he is just on his cell phone. Nobody has spoken to him. We don't know who he's talking to on the phone, if he's talking to negotiators, but nobody is saying anything over the loudspeaker right now. It's very odd. This is a very big intersection, Raj and Jessica, so they're doing the best they can to keep people away, but this is a lot of area to cover. And just about 5 minutes ago, I saw a regular pedestrian just walking down the sidewalk. So we're going to keep an eye on the situation. Still very tense. Back to you in the studio.
Okay, Janelle Wang reporting for us right from the scene of the standoff. So here's what we know, and here's the information we're dealing with. And of course, we're learning all of this as we're watching this for the last hour and 15 minutes. 3 people are involved. The UPS driver, thankfully, has been released. He was taken hostage. The gunman remains in that UPS van. And the woman, we don't know the relationship to her with these two. She has been released, but she has been detained by officers.
Welcome back. We are covering a very tense situation here. We've been doing this for about an hour and a half right now. A hostage situation right in front of our NBC Bay Area studios in North San Jose. You're looking at a live picture right now of a UPS truck that has a man with a gun held to his chin inside. He initially had a UPS driver as his hostage. That UPS driver was released about 25 minutes ago, safe. He is now in with police, talking to police, but the man with the shotgun remains inside, holed up inside that UPS truck. This is at the intersection of First and Trimble on a busy commuter area, right at the height of the evening commute. Initially, 3 people were in this truck, including a woman. We don't know the relationship between the 3 people, except that the UPS driver was taken hostage. You're continuing to look at a live picture right now as we widen out so you can see just how busy a corridor this is. This sits in the middle between 101 and 680. It is on either side with Brokaw, also First Street and North First Street and Trimble. Very, very busy area.
Yeah, just down the road from eBay headquarters and PayPal headquarters. So the issue is now that they're going to wait this suspect out, this gunman inside that UPS truck. Now, just a short while ago, we have video of the UPS driver himself being released safely. You can see him there, hands up, walking backwards toward the 30 or 40 squad cars behind him. We're happy to report he is okay. So he was taken hostage for more than an hour, but he is okay. So he has been released, but the gunman remains in that UPS truck with the shotgun. At many points in these last 90 minutes, the shotgun was pointed towards his own head. So he is threatening to harm himself. But the good news here, that UPS driver has been released. He is safe. Obviously right now being questioned about what he knows about how all of this is unfolding. We have Janelle Wang, who's down on the scene for us. She's about 100 yards away from where this is all unfolding. Janelle, we spoke with you about 10 or 15 minutes ago. What's transpired since that point?
Well, since that point, about 10 minutes ago, it appears the suspect, the armed gunman, tried to drive the truck, but, you know, the tires are flattened by those spike strips. So it lurched kind of a couple feet and then came to a stop again. And ever since then, the gunman has still been in the driver's seat. About, 25, 30 minutes ago, he was signaling outside the passenger window. He actually opened up the window and started doing hand gestures while on the phone. We don't know if he was trying to communicate with police officers, but from my vantage point, it appears that he was talking to somebody on the phone, doing some hand gestures to see if they could see him from NBC Bay Area Sky Ranger. It appears he knows that we are doing live coverage of this standoff situation. Now, since since those hand gestures, he's still been on the phone, but he's less agitated now. He's got his foot up, appears like on the dash, and seems much more calm while talking on the phone. I can see his cell phone on. And he just seems to be having a conversation. We don't know with whom, either with SWAT team negotiators or with somebody he knows. But he just seems to be more relaxed right now at this time, sitting in the driver's seat of the UPS truck. He still has his shotgun in his hand, but it's not pointed under his chin or at him. So he just seems to be a little bit more calm and relaxed than it was about 20 minutes ago when he was making gestures with his hand outside the window trying to signal something or spell something out, and then kind of yelling and screaming at the phone. And now he seems to be more kicked back and just talking on the phone. We're not sure with who, but the street is still closed down. VTA runs parallel to this North First Street, so it is shut down right now between Carina and I think Trimble's, so that is closed. They're running buses around the area because this whole area is shut down. There is a strip mall to the left of the UPS truck. To the right, there's a business park. with about 50 companies here and thousands of employees. Actually, most of them have left the building. They weren't told to evacuate, but they've just gone home for the day. They left as they were exiting the building. Police just told them to stay back and exit from the rear and leave the business park. But most people have left the scene. Right now, there are just dozens of San Jose police officers and sheriff's deputies here and the SWAT team as well. So we're going to keep an eye on the situation from the ground. We have a very close-up vantage point right now, and we'll keep you posted. Raj and Jessica?
Okay, Janelle Wang reporting for us right there from what this is all unfolding. We should mention, we have mentioned it previously, but it's worth mentioning again, this gunman did shoot at officers during this chase, and at some point this chase started around 5 o'clock. At around 5:25 p.m. it came to an end because they blew out with the strip there. They blew out the front tires. The chase came to an end because the front tires were flat around 5:25, and then around 5:35 the first person was released. That's when the woman came out, and then subsequently about 20 minutes ago the UPS driver himself, the hostage, was released, and he was okay. So this continues to unfold right here on North 1st Street in North San Jose, right in the midst of all these tech companies and a lot of condos and apartments as well.
We're going to move away from this story for just a short time, but don't worry, we are monitoring what's happening on the ground there with Janelle, but we want to update you on our situation with the weather that impacts so many people. We
want to interrupt you and go right live to a news conference happening outside of the standoff with the negotiators and the gunman inside the UPS truck. Let's listen in live.
Vehicle pursuit continues again, so now we're on to our second pursuit. Spike strips were deployed in an attempt to stop the truck, or the UPS truck, and that was in the area of 87 and Taylor, but the suspect continued to drive. Even though the spike strips did work and that all the tires were blown out. He drove the car with while he was on rims. We were able to get the truck stops, which is what you see here first in South Trimble, and a female suspect was detained. At that point, the UPS driver was still in a hostage situation. Hostage negotiators arrived on scene. We were able to rescue the hostage and get him out safely. The suspect at this time is currently still in the UPS truck. We don't know his age or anything of that nature, and right now we're just working the situation, hoping for a peaceful resolution.
What was the nature of the initial attempt to stop?
I don't have that information. I know there was some sort of suspicious vehicle. I don't know what piqued the interest of the deputies while they were there. The deputies who were looking at this particular vehicle, they were some of our plainclothes deputies that work with our transit division. We have a contract with VTA, and those deputies were the ones who were in that patrol area.
So you tried to stop him, and then he left the car, ran, and hijacked this UPS driver.
So the initial stop was, we tried to stop the vehicle. The vehicle stops momentarily. Deputies get out of their vehicle to walk up to the truck. It was some sort of black GMC SUV. At that point, he gets back on the gas and drives off. So deputies get back in their car and the pursuit begins. During that pursuit is when the suspect fired multiple shots towards our deputies. And I can say that at least one shot hit our patrol vehicle.
And when did he change to the UPS?
When did he change? I don't know the exact location, but he. If you give me 1 second.
Reggie, real quick, do you mind if I grab you? I'm going to go live at 7.
Okay.
So, okay.
Do you mind? There's a lot of resources here. Can you talk a little bit about what's deployed at the moment?
Yeah. So we have several. We have our CERT team. We have San Jose, City of San Jose merge team, hostage negotiations. We have an incident command center. We're all just hoping for a peaceful resolution.
I have the PIO right behind me. Okay, thank you. So, okay, I'll introduce you, Sergeant.
All right, we've been listening to Sergeant Reginald Cooks from the Sheriff's Department, who's been giving us some information, confirming a lot of the information we've already given you in terms of the timeline and the female suspect, but he also added some additional information that we are just learning along with you, that is that there were 2 chases initially, and that it appears from what we're hearing that the suspect was initially in a black SUV. He's running. Look at we're taking this live on TV right now. It appears he has left he is running down into one of the buildings there. We can see him. It looks like he still may have the gun in his hand.
And you know what? He's actually running toward where we might have Janelle Wang, who's in that building.
He's on the ground. He's on the ground.
We're going to pull away here just to err on the side of safety here. But he is going toward our crew where Janelle Wang is. So we'll try to check in with her to see what's happening there. There are shots fired. We are back here. What we've done here is we've pulled away from our helicopter shot just because there were shots fired. That suspect might be on the ground. What we saw him there, though, just a minute ago, running from the UPS truck. He was the gunman with the shotgun. He was in that truck for about 90 minutes. He just ran away, and there were shots fired. So he might have been shot by the deputies.
Or he was running. This is what we heard from the Reginald Cooks just moments ago, that it appeared that it was two chases, that deputies were trying to look at a car, a black SUV that we understand this man may have been inside. Somehow that chase started, but then he got out of that, and it appears that he may have carjacked that UPS truck with the driver. That's what we understand.
Right now at 11, a wild and tragic night in San Jose. This is exclusive video of the UPS driver held hostage by a gunman as he walked out of the sheriff's department late tonight. That driver shaken up but unharmed. This standoff lasted for nearly 2 hours. You can see the gunman in the front passenger seat of that UPS truck with the shotgun, and the gunman's friends watching it all unfold.
He's a human being. To me, a human life costs like nothing. The next thing I heard on the scanner is they're performing CPR.
So who is he, and what prompted this violent chase? Tonight, we do have some answers.
Now, this was part of our breaking news coverage. You may have watched it earlier tonight. At this hour, though, it is still a very active crime scene with lots of investigators on the ground there figuring out what happened and why. We begin with NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintano in North San Jose, not far from our station. Sergio, what have you been hearing from investigators?
Well, right now, investigators are trying to piece together all the details as to exactly how this started. And of course, the end, this all wrapped up just a few yards away from here. That gunman ran out of that UPS truck and into that parking lot. Investigators still on scene trying to piece together all the details in this. This is the moment tactical officers moved in to end this standoff. Two police vehicles drove right up to the UPS van with the gunman, Mark Moraski, inside. That's when he ran. He had his weapon with him when he was shot. At that moment, the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Department was holding a news conference describing how this all started.
I do not know the condition of the suspect. I do know that there is at least one shot fired, and we can confirm that the suspect is down.
Watching this all unfold just yards away, several of Moraski's friends who say they had been talking with him on the phone trying to calm the situation.
He was scared. He called me. He said, "I love you. I'm in a standoff." And then he was saying bye. And I was like, no, don't say that. Don't say that.
Moraski died on scene. It's still not clear why deputies were chasing him in the first place, but they say during that chase, he shot at them. He and an accomplice then ran.
And he stumbles upon a UPS truck, at which point he carjacks the UPS truck with the driver inside.
That chase ended just yards from the NBC Bay Area studios on 1st Street. Police surrounded the vehicle. His alleged accomplice quickly surrendered. Then for more than an hour, Moraski held the UPS driver as a hostage. He eventually let him go. That UPS driver was not hurt. Tonight, we were there as he walked out of the sheriff's department. As for the suspect, we've learned that Moraski had a criminal record, including armed robbery. And no one else was injured in this entire situation, except, of course, for that gunman. And we are going to be learning further details in all of this because there is a news conference that is scheduled at the Sheriff's Department here in Santa Clara tomorrow at 12:30. Reporting live in San Jose, I'm Sergio Quintana, NBC Bay Area News.
Sergio, thank you. Now, we did mention this all happened right in front of our NBC Bay Area studios. This is an area filled with tech companies like PayPal, eBay, and Samsung. Our own Janelle Wang was on the scene when the gunman started to run right toward her.
He's pointing the shotgun. He's getting down. Oh, no. Get down. Get down. Get down. He's pointing the shotgun.
Sorry,
Okay, you're fine. He's opened the door. Oh, my God. He's running. He's running. He's running.
Some terrifying moments for everyone watching on TV and for Janelle and the crew on the ground level. They did take cover. They were unharmed. Seconds later, though, officers and paramedics would rush in after they shot him. This was during our live coverage at about 7:15 this evening. Now, we have tweeted several videos of this case, the standoff, the chase, and the moment that gunman started to run. Our Twitter feed is a very good resource for breaking news. You can follow us at NBC Bay Area. You can also see all of that raw video on our website at NBCBayArea.com.
Last night. Tonight, new details on how it all started and the two people involved. First, the woman who police say was part of the UPS carjacking. She surrendered to police early in that standoff. They have identified her as 23-year-old Joanna Macy Rogers. Officers also released this picture of the shotgun they say she used to shoot at them during the police chase. The other suspect, who friends identify as Mark Moraski, was seen holding that shotgun in the UPS truck, and officers shot and killed him after he ran into a nearby parking lot with the gun. NBC Bay Area's Robert Honda is live in San Jose with an update to this story. Robert.
Well, that's right. As you said, the surviving suspect is the person that police say actually shot at officers during the chase. She is now here at the main jail awaiting court, and she is going to be facing numerous charges for the bizarre series of events that began to unravel thanks to a quick-thinking hostage. This was the moment when the chase started to end, when a man and a woman who carjacked a UPS truck and forced the driver to help in the getaway ran over a spike strip put out on Highway 87 by officers. The disabled UPS truck ended up on North 1st Street, where a man armed with a shotgun staged a standoff. First, he let his female accomplice out. The woman, 24-year-old Joanna Macy Rogers, was arrested and charged with attempted murder of a peace officer after police said she fired several rounds at pursuing officers. The armed man, identified by friends as Mark Moraski, eventually let the UPS driver go. Then Moraski ran out of the truck with the shotgun and was shot by a San Jose officer. Chief Eddie Garcia praised officers and called the UPS driver a hero.
Purposely drove over the spike strips. They wanted him to drive faster, and he lied and told them that the UPS truck had a governor and it couldn't go over 50 miles an hour because he didn't want the police to lose the truck.
Later, sheriff's investigators made a grim discovery in the SUV the two were driving during the initial traffic stop before they fled and hijacked the UPS truck.
They had the loaded shotgun, of course, additional shotgun shells, but also duct tape, a machete, and zip ties. We don't know what they were going to do, but I don't think it looked very positive.
That's right. The sheriff says it certainly raises questions of what the two might have been planning prior to being stopped by transit deputies for that suspicious activity. And the woman, who will be questioned extensively about that activity, is expected to be in court as early as Tuesday. Live in San Jose, Robert Honda, NBC Bay Area News.
Thank you, Robert. Well, investigators may have to answer another key question in this case. Sources tell NBC Bay Area's Damian Trujillo that San Jose police pulled the suspect over just a couple of days ago. Before this deadly standoff, the suspect told them he was on probation, but the source says issues with the court's new computer system did not pull up any outstanding warrants, and they let him go. We've reported extensively on that new system. Well, the source tells us a manual search of records later that night showed an arrest warrant on file. Now, if the officers had that, they could have arrested him during that traffic stop, perhaps avoiding last night's confrontation. The county courts did not respond to our request for comment today, but have previously said there is nothing wrong with the new computer system other than usual growing pains.
Our other top